Welcome to this episode, where we're diving into a fascinating topic, neuroinflammation, and why it matters across so many neurological disorders. It's a big subject, but we're going to break it down and explore why understanding this biological process could really change how researchers study brain and nervous system conditions.
Yeah, it's interesting because we often hear about neurological conditions by their names, like pain disorders, addiction, or cognitive decline. But underneath those labels, there's a lot of shared biology going on. Neuroinflammation is one of those key shared processes that shows up across many different conditions.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What is neuroinflammation? Well, simply put, it's inflammation happening in or around the nervous system. You can think of inflammation like the body's natural defense system, kind of like a fire alarm that goes off when there's injury or infection.
But sometimes that fire alarm doesn't turn off when it should, or it gets stuck on high alert. And that's when inflammation can become a problem, especially in the brain and nervous system, because it can disrupt normal function.
Right. And neuroinflammation involves a bunch of different players. Immune cells, glial cells, which are support cells in the brain, signaling molecules called cytokines, oxidative stress, which is damage from harmful molecules, and the communication between the nervous and immune systems.
It's important to say that inflammation itself isn't always bad. It's part of how the body repairs itself. But when it's excessive, prolonged, or poorly resolved, that's when it becomes relevant to research on things like pain sensitivity, cognition, mood, injury response, and recovery.
So why do researchers focus on shared biological pathways like neuroinflammation, instead of just looking at disease labels? Well, neurological disorders are really complex and often involve many biological systems at once.
Yeah, and by focusing on pathways, scientists can ask more precise questions, like what biological process is active, what mechanisms are involved, what markers can we measure, and what data supports or challenges a hypothesis. It's a way to move from just observing symptoms to understanding the underlying biology.
That's a good point. And neuroinflammation shows up in a lot of different neurological areas. Take pain biology, for example. Pain isn't just about feeling hurt. It involves complex nervous system processes, including immune signaling and glial cell activation.
Right. And in chronic pain, the nervous system can become sensitized, kind of like a smoke detector that goes off even when there's no fire. So researchers ask questions like, are inflammatory signals elevated? Are glial cells active? Can biomarkers help us understand the biological state of pain?
That analogy really helps. And then there's cognitive function, things like memory, focus, learning, and decision-making. These can be influenced by inflammation, sleep disruption, oxidative stress, and stress hormones.
So neuroinflammation might affect how well the brain processes information. But the key research question isn't whether a treatment improves cognition. It's whether inflammatory biology can be measured and connected to cognitive outcomes in a responsible scientific way.
Exactly. Then there's recovery biology, which is about the process of recovering from brain injury, stress, addiction, or chronic pain. Neuroinflammation intersects with neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, stress response, sleep, pain signaling, immune regulation, and more.
This broad perspective is what some researchers call recovery biology. It's about studying the biology behind recovery, not making treatment claims.
And addiction recovery is another area where neuroinflammation plays a role. Addiction involves behavioral and biological factors, including reward circuits, stress signaling, neuroplasticity, and inflammation.
That's where research stage concepts like neuroreset come in. They explore these biological pathways but are not treatments. It's about understanding the biology to support future validation.
Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's also involve neuroinflammation. Researchers study brain immune cells called microglia, cytokines, oxidative stress, and tissue responses.
But again, it's important to be careful with language. This research is about understanding mechanisms, not claiming treatments or cures.
Now, shifting gears a bit, why does receptor selectivity matter? Receptors are like communication points on cells. Think of them as locks that only certain keys or molecules can open.
Different receptors can cause different effects. So understanding which receptor a compound interacts with helps predict safety and effectiveness. Neuroforall is a research stage platform focusing on receptor-selective biology related to neuroinflammation.
And biomarkers are crucial here. They're measurable indicators, like biological signposts, that help connect the dots between mechanisms and observable effects.
Examples include inflammatory cytokines, oxidative stress markers, and cognitive or pain-related readouts. Using biomarkers means biological claims are backed by measurable evidence, which is key for rigorous science.
So why does all this matter? Well, this research is still early stage. No claims are made about treatments or cures. It's about understanding biology to build a foundation for future studies.
Studying shared pathways like neuroinflammation helps researchers develop better, more targeted approaches. It avoids overpromising and supports reproducible science.
And it reminds us that neurological disorders may look different on the surface, but often share common biological roots.
So, to wrap up, neuroinflammation is a key biological process connecting many neurological conditions. By focusing on shared pathways, rather than just disease labels, researchers can ask better questions and design better studies.
This pathway-focused approach is the foundation of responsible neuroscience research and platform development. The work is ongoing, but it's a promising way to understand and eventually improve brain health.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it gave you a clearer picture of why neuroinflammation matters across neurological disorders.
Absolutely. Until next time.